Good morning. So today I think we're gonna start from arrest to sentencing. Actually, not arrest, to being caught to sentencing. So on April 27th, I believe it was Easter, or yeah, I don't know. We were at my mom's. We were getting ready to leave my mom's, and I couldn't find the boys. So I went out back, and my mom has this playhouse, this plastic, supposed to be like a log cabin playhouse. And this was April 27th, mind you. I remember it to the day because it sucked. So the playhouse was out there, and I called for the boys, and I couldn't see them. And they came out of the house. Kyler first, clothes disheveled, and he looked inside and ran up to me. And Sky comes out, trying to cover his shirt, or his junk with his shirt, and failed to do so. And I knew something happened. And I sent Kyler inside, and I confronted him. I said, "What the fuck did you do?" And he goes, "Nothing, I didn't do anything." So I sent him inside, and I pulled Charles out, and I said, "This is what happened." And I said, "What do I do?" And he goes, "I don't know. What do you..." I said, "I don't know what to do." And so I asked my mom to come out, and I was like, what do I do, Mom?" And she goes, "I don't know." So we pulled Sky back out, and we all confronted him together. No one was helping, basically. My mom did not help. She was asking him questions: "Who taught you this?" Things like that. So I sent Sky back in, and I said, "I have to call the police." And my mom was like, "No, you don't do that, blah, blah, blah." I said, so my mom went inside, Charles went inside. I call the police. I say, "You need to meet me at my house." And so we get to the house. Sky is still in the car with Charles. So I go in with Kyler. I said, "Kyler, come to the bathroom." Kyler goes in the bathroom with me. And I said, "What happened in the playhouse, Kyler?" And he says, "Mom, I'm gonna get in trouble." I said, "No, you're not. You're gonna be in trouble. I need you to tell me what happened in the playhouse." And he says, "Mom, are you promise I won't be in trouble?" I said, "Baby, you're not gonna be in trouble." He said, "Promise, Mom." I said, "Baby, I promise." And he stated to me, Sky made me do the R word, S-E-X. So I know that at this point that Kyler doesn't know what that is unless something happened to him. And so I said, "How many times has this happened?" And he tells me that it was 3 times. I asked him how many times it had happened before. He said 3 times. So at this point, I'm freaking pissed off. And Sky's lucky because the Kia that I had, the seat was like this. So at that point, I'm pissed. I said, "Kyler, go in your room. You are not in trouble at all." I run down the stairs. I am just livid. And I open the door, and I'm like, "You raped your fucking brother." And I slammed the seat back. I wanted to do a lot more than that. But then I called the police back and I'm like, look, I thought this was one thing and it's another. And I said, you need to get here because he's going in handcuffs. I'm not doing this. So the police came. This guy got arrested. Charles said that he told him in detail what happened. And then they took him to the jail. Sky calls me from jail late that night, like 8, I think. And I said, he's like, Mom, can I talk to you? And I said, no. He said, you did what you did. I have no sympathy. Because I was mad. Why would I? No. So arraignment happens, and I go to arraignment. I go to all the court cases. I go to arraignment or court proceedings. I go to arraignment, and I spoke. I spoke and told them I'm not taking him back into the house. And they, because he has nowhere to go, keep him in jail for 78 days, every court hearing I go to. And he was going to be charged with felony, child R word, and felony incest. So at sentencing that August, he was in there from April 27th to sentencing sometime in August. For some reason, I can't remember that date. And I spoke at sentencing, and they didn't care. They didn't care. And they dropped his charges from the felonies to 2 counts of misdemeanor SA and 2 counts of misdemeanor incest. And then my Aunt Michelle Scott and Alan Scott took him to their home. And at that point, I was condemned from my family because I still don't, but I didn't understand why you would want that in your family. Because I sure wouldn't. Oh, and he also got 2 years probation. So in August 2027, he's done. And he doesn't have to register either. So there's also a restraining order between him and Sky. I tried to get one for my girls, but they wouldn't give it to me. And so we wound up going to court for guardianship. I handed everything over to her. And still to this day, they have not asked how Kyler is one time. And because they're mad at me, they don't ask about the kids. They have not one time asked how they're doing mentally, how Kyler's doing mentally. Even when I was still kind of talking to them, still don't. I haven't talked to my mom in almost 2 months, other than Keelan asking her if she wants her books back that I couldn't take with me the other night. But yeah, they don't care about my kids, my other kids, all 4. It's all about Sky and making sure his life is okay, which, why wouldn't you want to make sure the grandson who's the victim is okay, or your nephew who's the victim is okay, regardless of how you feel about me and Michelle and Alan, not worrying about him being in your household. I don't understand. So this is part 2.